Salams and welcome. Thank you for joining me in another episode of the Quran in English Basics for Beginners. Auzubillah minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. They say, if it had been the will of Allah, if it had been the will of God most gracious, we should not have worshipped such deities. Of that they have no knowledge. They do nothing but lie. Instead of taking personal responsibility for their idol worship, or for worshipping female goddesses, or for worshipping statues, or for worshipping the moon or the sun, or for worshipping Jesus, or for worshipping Mary, or for worshipping an elephant, or a buffalo, or a chimpanzee. They must take personal responsibility for that. But instead of that, they are putting the blame on God. To say, no, if God didn't want us to worship it, we wouldn't have worshipped it. But they can have no leg to stand on the day of judgment, because it is their own decision which they have made, make these into deities. They made them into gods and goddesses. They cannot blame God for that, because they've got their own brain. They cannot say, no, but this is our family tradition. Their family tradition and their folklore and their old wives' tales will not help them on that day. So they do nothing but lie. You do the crime, you do the time. No one else can bear your burden. If you made a burden of sin, you will have to account for that sin. What? Have we given them a book before this, to which they are holding fast? Nay, they say, we found our fathers following a certain religion, and we do guide ourselves by their footsteps. So the answer is, instead of taking a responsibility for the erroneous ways, they say, no, 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 this is our way. This is the way we do things. This is our culture. This is the way of our ancestors. And our ancestors are listening and looking, and we don't want to upset our ancestors, right? So that is once again a wrong way of understanding, because the ancestors are dead and they are paying for the sins. They are being punished for their wrong way. So when the truth has come to you, you must throw your ancestors away, throw everybody away, because at the end of the day, you're going to stand alone in front of God, and your excuse that you are simply following the religion of your family, that's not going to help you on the day of judgment, because on the day of judgment, the only formula that's going to help you is La ilaha illallah. Nothing else will help you on that day. Just in the same way, whenever we sent a warner before you to any people, the wealthy ones among them said, we found our fathers following a certain religion, and we will certainly follow in their footsteps. And it is usually these wealthy ones, the elite of the elite. Remember the triangle that we have been talking about so often? That the wealthy people of the world, whether you want to call them the Illuminati or the Freemasons or the mafias or the shadow forces or the shadow government, the elite ones who are in control of world affairs, they want world domination, because they are so wealthy that their wealth gives them power. And through that wealth and their power, they buy favors. They buy political favors, and in fact, they even nominate who must go into government, because they pay and sponsor the leaders who must lead them in government. And if they don't like a certain ruler in another country, they will remove that ruler and install a puppet government. And these wealthy elite, and interesting thing about them is, many of them are narcissists and very, very arrogant. And these are qualities of shaitan or Satan or the devil, because they are instruments of the devil. They control and fund the church. They control and fund the academic institutions. They control and fund the research laboratories, so then they will tell you what medication to drink and what not to drink. They control and fund and decide when warfare will take place. They talk about peace, but they are lying through their teeth because they love war and they hate peace. And that is why they hate Islam, because Islam talks about peace. Whereas these wealthy elite, they hate peace because during time of peace, they do not make money. And during times of peace, their warehouses are full of weapons that is just collecting dust. So they will manufacture a war. They will look for excuses for war. Because as long as the world is in a state of war, then they are making money. So they will continue manufacturing wars. So they also control the banking institutions. And most importantly, they control the entertainment industry, the movies, and they control the media. And thereby they control the brains of the masses of people. So it is this wealthy elite who will then decide who you must love and who you must hate through the media. They decide where the media must pay attention on, who must be the devil or who's going to be labeled a terrorist or a savage person or a barbarian and who's a civilized person according to their definition of who is civilized or a barbarian. So anyone who acts and thinks like them, for example, like you see in the Epstein files, they will glorify evil because they follow the teachings of Niccolo Machiavelli that evil is good. And this is how they turn everything upside down because occult worshippers and satanic people, they make evil sound like it is good because they turn it upside down. And something that is bad, they make it evil. And something that is wrong, they pretend that it's right. And that is why they promote falsehood in the media. And this is how they brainwash the people. And this is how they turn people away from God. And these are the wealthy ones who the ordinary men and women follow them because they are famous celebrities. And they say, you know what? I'm a fan of that celebrity. I will worship what that celebrity worships and I will stay away from what that celebrity tells me to stay away from. And these are the wealthy ones who say, we found our fathers following a certain religion and we will certainly follow in their footsteps. And the question is what? Even if your fathers were wrong, will you want to go to hell like the devil? And will you lead other people astray just like how you are astray? Because it's a guarantee you will stand in front of God on the day of judgment, and then your wealth is not going to help you even one bit. Stay well, look after yourself. Alhamdulillah.